3, Barton Bank, Adrian Maguire. 4, Counterbatic, Simon McNeil. 5, from Ireland, second schedule, written by Richard Dunwoody. And 6 is Martemick, written by Norman Williamson. Those are the 6 runners in the Martell Cup Chase. Here's how they bet.
Money for Martemick, well back this morning, 3-1 into 11-4. Monsieur Le Cure, friendless this morning, he's up to 13-2. Second schedule is 16-1, and Catabatic 12-1 out to 20-1.
So a fascinating market, and Merry Gale on this fast ground, easy to back, but this is he, the horse that dominated the Cheltenham Gold Cup for over 2 3/4 miles. He jumped superbly, but ran out of stamina that day. That's the question mark against him, because the same thing happened in the Irish Gold Cup at Leopardstown. That was a terrific battle with Jadami, and going to the last, it looked as if Merry Gale on the far side was getting the better of it. Arston comes up for Brad there, and after the last, he went a couple of lengths clear. But then, just as they come to the junction of the rails here, you see Graham Bradley throws away his stick, and Merry Gale collapsed like a pricked balloon. Jadami went past him in the end, went and won by 3 lengths. So he's run out of stamina there on the soft ground. The question remains, does he stay 3 miles plus in top company? And could the ground be too fast for him today? But he is a terrific jumper, a most exciting horse, and, well, Barton Bank, even if he jumps the fences, has got something to beat here. In the paddock, Richard Pittman and Peter Skinner.
Ireland, and also in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, just didn't last home. Here it's a much easier track. They go like stink, mind you, around the Mildmay course here. 2 police horses escorting out. They're huge, these horses. If you've ever stood into them, they really would surprise you. They are heavy. Well, coming up behind Merry Gale, we have Catabatic, a horse who knows what winning's like around here. He's ridden, as usual, by Simon McNeil for Josh Gifford. I saw Josh in the paddock laughing and joking with his owners, the Pall Mall partners, Richard Gilder and Jim Chromiak. Behind him, we have the Orange of Monsieur Le Cure and Peter Niven, a horse who's just lost his way slightly this year. And then the mare there on the left of the mare coming out as we look, the left of the picture is Kim Bailey. Wouldn't it be a marvellous thing for him if he were to end up with a Grand National, the Martell National, added to his Gold Cup and his Champion Hurdle? She's a good mare, this. Behind in the Stars, Barton Bank and Adrian Maguire. Adrian, who's had a battering this year, but he's still up there leading the table. Certainly is a young man's game. And behind is second schedule. This one from Ireland, Annette McMahon trains for her father Hugh, Richard Dunwoody on board. A big week again for Woody. They call him the Prince at home. I wonder if he'll be crowned the King on Saturday. It's 15-8, he's on the drift there. Merry Gale is 11-4, also drifting from 9-4. Martemick is pretty steady at 3s, having gone to 11-4 at one stage, and it is 13-2 bar that trio. And of these, 3 of them were bought at Doncaster sales. They'll be going for them. This is not one of them. This is Martemick by Montélimar.
It's funny with this Martemick, I've got his her brother at home. Both of them like the good ground. One of the reasons with this horse, this filly liking the good ground, is that she swallows her tongue a little bit, and the softer ground really pulls her about and stops her getting the trip. But I know that Kim Bailey feels that on this good ground that she won't guard as much. But they're off now, and Peter will take you through the race.
These winners of 63 races between them come to the first of the 19 fences, Barton Bank and Martemick. Martemick stands in the lead, all safely over the first, with Merry Gale, the back marker, coming down now towards the first ditch, and the mare has really taken it up and is galloping. Martemick, the leader, from Barton Bank over this ditch. Just in behind them, Catabatic and second schedule, Monsieur Le Cure. Merry Gale, the back marker, and coming down now towards the third fence. And Martemick, the clear leader, from Barton Bank and second schedule, and Catabatic and Monsieur Le Cure. And Merry Gale over that third. And coming up past the winning post on this first circuit. 19 fences in all, 3 miles and a furlong on the Malmay course, and Martemick leading Barton Bank, second schedule on the inside of Monsieur Le Curé. A little gap then to the old man of the race, 12-year-old Catabatic, and finally Merry Gale. And Norman Williamson, the rider of Master Oates, of course, in the Grand National, determined to make this a proper gallop on this 8-year-old mare, Martemick, coming to the 4th. Clear. Martemick jumps the 4th very fast from Barton Bank in second schedule. And then Monsieur Le Curé, and a gap then to Catabatic and Merry Gale. Over the 5th, Martemick, clear of Barton Bank, second schedule, and Monsieur Le Curé. Little gap to Catabatic and Merry Gale. Second of the ditches now, Martemick. Over that 6th, making it look very small, that ditch. Coming to another plain one. Number 7 of the 19. She's got a really clear lead. Little mistake there by second schedule, drops back into 4th place. And Merry Gale has overtaken Catabatic, relegated him to last. But Martemick has an 8-length advantage as she comes to the 8th. From Barton Bank, Monsieur Le Curé. A little gap then to second schedule. Behind second schedule is Merry Gale and then Catabatic. Turning into what will be the home straight next time round. Martemick with this clear advantage. Norman Williamson from Adrian Maguire and Barton Bank, and Monsieur Le Curé almost upsides him over the 9th, and then second schedule, Merry Gale, and finally Catabatic. Third of the ditches, number 10. Martemick, clear of Barton Bank and Monsieur Le Curé, and second schedule, and Merry Gale and Catabatic. And this will be the last fence next time round. It's number 11 now in the Martell Cup Chase, which is still being led at a merry gallop by Martemick, who has a good 6 to 7 length advantage over Barton Bank, who jumps it next with Monsieur Le Curé. Second schedule, then Merry Gale, and finally Catabatic. Martemick, ears pricked, maintaining this strong gallop as she goes out onto the final circuit now with a good 10-length advantage over Barton Bank, second schedule of Monsieur Le Curé, and then a gap to Merry Gale, and finally Catabatic, finding this too quick for him at the moment. So they're right over the far side of the course now, the Melling Road there in the background, which they cross at just after the start of the National, and Martemick on this Malmay course coming to number 12, clear. She jumps it a long way clear of a mistake there by Monsieur Le Curé. Very well recovered there, but a bad mistake by him. Barton Bank's back in 3rd, disputing 3rd now with second schedule going up on his outside, and over the 13th, and it was Martemick well clear of Monsieur Le Curé. She's really got him stretched, this man now. 4th of the 5 ditches, Martemick jumps it clear. Monsieur Le Curé jumps it second schedule 3rd. 4 is Barton Bank, 5 Merry Gale getting a little bit closer now, and 6 Catabatic. The last over the far side, 5 out. Martemick jumps it clear of Monsieur Le Curé, then second schedule. Merry Gale is putting in a run now and has moved into 3rd. Relegated second schedule is under pressure into 4th. Barton Bank is well beaten, and behind Barton Bank is Catabatic, is just about to overtake him. In fact, this is 4 out, and Martemick has a good 10-12 lengths over Merry Gale, who's now become the challenger. Martemick from Merry Gale, who's second. 3rd, Monsieur Le Curé. 4 is second schedule. 5 Catabatic, and 6 absolutely sold out is Barton Bank. As the leader turns for home now with 3 fences left to jump in the Martell Cup Chase, and it's Martemick being chased all the time now by Merry Gale. Martemick jumps the 3rd. Oh, she nearly went there, and that's certainly taken a lot of the momentum from her. Merry Gale is making significant progress now as they come to the final ditch. It's Merry Gale for Ireland come to challenge the mare Martemick, and Merry Gale has taken out it, but Martemick, she's a tired mare now. She's under pressure. She doesn't need it. She's going to be well beaten by Merry Gale. As Merry Gale comes to the last, he's only got to stand up now. Merry Gale coming to the last, going to win this very impressively if he jumps it. Merry Gale at the final fence now, jumps it well, hurdles it in fact. Martell jumps it second, very tight, and Monsieur Le Cure third, and racing up towards the line. And Merry Gale wins the Martell Cup in tremendous style under Graham Bradley. Racing to the line, holding on gallantly to second place is Martell, and third is Monsieur Le Cure, fourth is the old man Catabatic, fifth is second schedule, and sixth, and a very disappointing tired last, is Barton Bank. And so the result of the Martell Cup Chase, first blood at the meeting for Ireland. Number 1, Merry Gale, owned by Mr. Herb M. Stanley, trained by Jim Draper and written by Graham Bradley. Second was number 6, Martell, owned by Mr. Richard Shaw, trained by Kim Bailey and written by Norman Williamson. And third, number 2, Monsieur Le Cure, owned by Mr. Hector H. Brown, trained by John Edwards and written by Peter Nevin, with fourth, number 4, the old man Catabatic.
Skew and I give the riding performance of the year to Graham Bradley here. He dropped to Merry Gale out. He had stalked the leader, but Martell had set a right gallop, and it wasn't until the mistake here going right into the bottom, then trying to get out of trouble, she pitched it, performed wonders to stay on her feet. What a game mare, but what that takes out of them, you cannot gauge. Graham Bradley, looking from behind, would have been delighted to have seen that mistake.
Yes, I thought entering to that fence, I thought that Martell might just hang on there. She does gallop all the way to the line. I know that sometimes she hasn't run for a while, but I thought she would keep going. But I thought it was a supreme piece of riding, to have the confidence to drop this horse that's usually ridden up with the pace, right out, and allow a lot of front runners up there, Martell, Barton Bank horses, that take them along in a good gallop, and the good horses, and have the nerve to allow them to come back at you, was quite supreme. They talked about Morley Street being the great riding performance, but I think this surpasses that.
Yes,
you just see him giving him the horse a slap, keeping him up to his fence there. You watch, he just lays up his neck, and the horse is there. It's lovely when they prick their ears. You know that you've seen that stride there. He has had his jumping problems in the past, but on this form, what an excellent horse he is.
We mustn't take it away from Martell. She'd set them a merry gallop, and Monsieur Le Cure running a much better race today. I think that was good, but hats off to Jim Draper. This horse had a hardish race at Cheltenham, and to bring him back to win here, well, congratulations, Jim, and a big accolade to Brad.
Yes, he's some pilot. This young man will be riding Zeta's Lad in the big one on Saturday. That's his 41st winner of the season. Graham Bradley, and for Merry Gale, it's number 10 of his 16 races. And only a 7-year-old, this impressive horse, the junior runner in the race, another product of Strong Gale, and Brad acknowledging the so well-merited cheers of this vast sunlit entry crowd. Isn't he delighted? And the distance is 15 lengths. 15 lengths. What a triumph for this Merry Gale. And the starting price is as follows.
First, number 1, Merry Gale, 5-2. Second, number 6, Martell, 100-30. And third, number 2, Monsieur Le Cure, 13-2. 6 rand.